Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you had a great break. This is our second semester. It's going to fly by. Think about it. You've already survived one full semester of virtual learning, so this second semester should be a breeze. So, I want to go over our semester exam observations and our reflections because a lot of us said similar things in terms of what we want to work on and what we noticed we're struggling with or what we've done well. So I want to make sure that we start off this new semester on the right foot. So on this first link, go ahead and open up semester exam observations. And these are just some things that I want us to all understand that we're on the same page about. So every single one of us who turned in that semester exam has goals. We all want to genuinely do better. And some of us mentioned we can do that through attending Zoom classes and not relying solely on these videos, proofreading our work before we just kind of haphazardly submit things, read more. A lot of you mentioned that you don't read nearly as much as you should, especially now. And so that was something that I thought was really interesting to bring up because several students mentioned that. Some of our obstacles that we have mentioned are distractions. And that could be our cell phones, that could be families, that could be, the ease of getting up and simply not doing work. And laziness is a big factor as well. And a lot of that can be controlled, but some of it can't, is because that kind of goes back to our mental health, which some of us mentioned. It's very difficult to manage our time or manage our mental health. And I completely empathize with that struggle. And at the same time, some of us are just really inconsistent. We'll have a really great week, or we'll have a couple of days where we don't want to do anything, and then things start snowballing, and that inconsistency in itself makes everything else more challenging. And then simply just not asking for help. We might watch the videos, we might text a friend, but when you're asking each other what you think you should do, you guys are relying on somebody else's interpretations rather than just asking me. I literally sit here and beg you guys to ask me questions so that I can help you. And I'm practically pulling teeth to get you guys to talk to me on Zoom sometime. So let those questions come directly to me, because then there's no mistaking what exactly you should be doing on assignments, because you're getting them from the person who is actually doing the grading. Now, texting our friends is fine, and discussing, hey, how did you approach this? That's fine. But if you genuinely don't know, you are 100% responsible for your learning. And that doesn't fall on, well, so and so told me to do it like this. Okay, did you bother to ask me? Did that come specifically from the teacher? So those are some things that we can do immediately to just kind of remedy some of those issues. Some of the strengths I noticed in these reflections were that pretty much everybody was able to identify specifically what you learned, whether it was from an assignment or certain skills, and that was awesome. And then as well as identifying specific areas of need that you personally need to improve on. That was the best part of all of your semester exams. Some of the struggles that I'm noticing that we all tend to face that are impacting our ability to retain information or to do as well as we would like to is our stamina and our ability to focus. So stamina is something I think about with like endurance. Those of you that do attend Zooms, we stay on for about 15 minutes and that's it. Versus, a regular school environment would be you are in a classroom environment for 50 minutes. So that is a huge issue. And then our ability to focus. A lot of your assignments are minimal. Very rarely do you have something that is going to take the entire class period. And so that's another thing to think about. How are we going to do that? We all genuinely need to work on being able to stay focused for longer periods of time, especially if something happens in the next few months and we all start transitioning back into school. That is going to be a very difficult transition if we don't start working on our stamina and focus now. And reading helps, and that's not me just saying that because I'm an English teacher, but genuinely, I'm serious. Reading does help. So when you think about movies that you watch, you're able to sit there and focus on that movie for 2 or 3 hours. Okay. Reading is like that, but with words. So if you read 2 or 3 or 4 chapters at a time, you're focused on those chapters for 30 to 40 minutes at a time. And so I know that's not what a lot of you want to hear right now, but tough love means being honest with you. And the 100% fact of the matter is that we're just not reading. And again, this situation kind of finds ourselves in a really kind of unfortunate predicament where I can't just hand you books. However, there are several ways to combat that. You can have a San Antonio Public Library card, which is free. You can check them out electronically. I know it's not ideal, but we got to suck it up and do what we need to do at this point. There's Amazon Prime. You can use some gift cards if you got some of those over the holidays. Sora is another one. Overdrive is another one. Ms. Lippenholtz should have added you to the library course page, and she's got several resources for you to be able to check out books free of charge. And pretty much almost every single title is available. So let's start figuring those things out together. Let's do it while, the semester's kind of starting off a little bit easier, because as we get rolling through everything, it's going to get a little bit harder to kind of pause and go back. So after looking at these observations, I want you to think about some of the goals and actions that you mentioned in your recent semester exam. So feel free to go back and review that submission if you need to. In a new entry for today, I want you to discuss one specific action that you plan to implement to support one of your second semester goals, and then kind of discuss your favorite part of winter break, just to kind of get ourselves back into the swing of things. So I went ahead and did an entry for you. So one of my second semester goals also includes to make a conscious effort to read and then share these books with you. So one specific action I plan to implement to achieve that goal would be to share my book reviews with you. I have a Goodreads profile where I'm starting to, tag all the titles that I've read and just kind of some of my observations and just feedback about the titles. But that's not enough. I want to be able to write at least one book review a month. So that means me committing to one book a month, just whatever it is that I find, and then sharing my reviews with you. So you start having all of my book recommendations in one place. So I'm going to work on that, and hopefully that'll get pushed out to you pretty soon. And then my favorite part of winter break was sleeping in until about 9 or 9:30, which is a big deal. It's like super late in my house. Binge watching shows like Cobra Kai, which was awesome. I will not reveal any spoilers, but it was amazing. And The Crown, and schooling my husband on Mario Kart, because I feel pretty proud of that. Okay, so your last thing once you've done that entry for today is you're going to go ahead and click on the student input survey. And I really want to not think about virtual learning as this interim, right? We've been thinking about it as, okay, this is just kind of what we need to do until like things go back, and we're not really taking it serious. But as we've seen over this entire majority of 2020, virtual learning is not going away anytime soon. It's not. And so rather than just kind of thinking that it's just kind of one of those thumbtacks and the bump in the road, we can't afford to lose valuable time. So I would like your input as to what might be better. For example, making you want to come to Zoom, or what are you going to learn? Like, what things have I done or other teachers have done that have really been beneficial to you? I have a lot to learn. I am not perfect, but I no longer can just rest and be like, okay, we're just kind of getting through it. I don't want to get through it anymore. I really want to actually make this valuable and useful. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time for everybody. So it is crucial that you share your ideas, your interests, and your feedback with me, so that you have every opportunity to reach your goals this semester and find use from this class. So you've got several things to look at. Not all of them are really long, kind of drawn out answers, but I do want you to consider what suggestions for improvement do you have specifically for this class, or for virtual learning in general, just so that way we can kind of move forward this new semester, and hopefully make it not as painful. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Have a wonderful Monday back. I'm happy to have you, and reach out to me if you have any questions, and we'll see you guys soon, hopefully on Zoom. All right, take care.